Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is going to be another deck profile and some gameplay of my games with Zuhair, and this time we are going to be talking about a blue Sabine deck. This is something that I've kind of had in mind for a little while now, but we got a new card just this morning, right here. The Force is with me, and this card I think really pushes this deck to actually being competitive. I don't want to say great because I don't know if it's actually great or not yet, but I do think that it is now competitive. This deck really still needs one, maybe two more good low drops in blue, like maybe another 2-drop that you can play in the ground arena. Um, I don't know. Still needs a few things, but I think where it currently is, it's still very, very, very powerful. So what I've been doing actually is playing some games, probably a few hours a day, in Discord with Zuhair, and we've been streaming to the Discord, which, it's fun to just have some free entertainment for people who want to try to learn the game, maybe try to get a little bit better. But we enjoy just playing, so if we're going to be playing 2-3 hours a day, why not do it in Discord with other people? So you'll see I kind of have like a little Discord overlay on my video, so you might see people jump in and out, which is always cool to see. So try not to get too distracted by that. But uh, this deck, though, really performed a lot better than I thought it would. I knew that it would be just okay, but it actually ended up being a little better than okay. I think I ended up going about 50-50 thereabouts with Boba Fett, which I was totally happy with. But just talking about the deck here, it's pretty standard on the Sabine front as far as the red cards go. Spec Force Soldier, Benthic, Heroic Sacrifice, A-Wing, Sabine, Red 3, Freedom Fighters. I mean, K2 and For a Cause. Those are pretty much in every single Sabine deck. So there's nothing crazy about that. It's just you kind of have to play those and you move on. The blue cards, you get Restored Arc, which is pretty solid in space. You get that extra restore. You have Yoda, Jedi Lightsaber, Kanan, and the new event. So what the new event adds is more reach. So you have Fleet Lieutenant, the Force. You have uh, For Cause, and you have Heroic Sacrifice. So there's so much reach in this deck to do the last like 5-6 points of damage. Oftentimes you'll have like a K2 in play or a Kanan, and your opponent has 5 or 6 life left, and then you can just jam one of your pump effects and just do the last 6, which you'll see here shortly. But what really impressed me with this deck is the base. So Security Complex, what it really allows is not necessarily a like all gas no brake style deck that the yellow version kind of has, but it's something that you can do to have a more sustained burst. So what I mean by that is you want to use it early. So maybe even turn 1 Sabine to shield it, or a turn 2 Red 3 and shield it, or Freedom Fighters, or a Fighters for Freedom rather, or even save it for like Kanan. But the whole point is you just have that sustained burst that your opponent has to deal with, or else they really can't keep up or outrace you because you're just a dedicated burn deck, more or less. So right now, let me hide my camera here real quick and I'll show you my idea for the sideboard. So Wolf is in here for the Luke matchups where they just have a ton of restore. Um, but really, what I wanted to try is more of a transformational sideboard, and you can go from aggro into more of a mid-range style, or even not necessarily control, but cards like Luke. You know, there's only two in a side, but it kind of lets you go long in the matchups where your opponent might sideboard a ton of anti like rush stuff. You can take out like what could we really take it? Like the lightsabers weren't that great in here. I feel like you can go down to like one or two of those, but you just side out some of this early stuff in this board and into your late game. It's totally theoretical. I haven't actually tried this sideboard yet. These are the first games I played with this deck. This card was spoiled like 10 a.m. this morning Eastern time, or like 9 a.m. And by like noon, we were playing games in Discord. So, I didn't have time to really think about this too much, but theoretically, this is what I really liked. So, I am going to try that against maybe Luke or something, but we didn't play sideboards here. We just kind of just jammed the deck into Boba Fett. So, let's jump into the games. Uh, this is game one here. Again, this is the very first time I've played with this version of the deck, so there might be some cards that I play not exactly the way they should be, like maybe forgetting something, but it should be pretty good for the most part. So this hand's an easy mulligan. A bunch of 3 and 4 drops is not what you want in Sabine. So we're going to mulligan and hopefully draw more 2s. Okay, so this is a very interesting hand. So there's a ton of space. So I think what I have to do is go to space. So I kept, so the options to resource here is, of course that card goes down, but then it's either K2 or one of the 2 drops I think have to get resourced here. There's an argument for Fighters for Freedom as well, but the only things you really have to keep are Red 3 and the A-Wing, because that's going to be our curve, hopefully. So as per usual, I'm going to lose this die roll to Zoo, because I literally can't ever beat him in a die roll. Like, I should have just let him have it to begin with. And he's playing Boba Fett, so something we really have to be mindful of is his ECL, his base. I don't want him to be able to get a lot of value off of it if possible. So we have to lead with the restored arc here because he had the spacer, which is unfortunate, but he can't really do anything crazy in space right now unless he has the 3-drop shield spaceship, because that with ECL is really going to wreck what I'm trying to do here. So knowing that, I kind of wish I had Fighters for Freedom here, so I can kind of like diversify, but he does, I think, have the, yeah, so that's really bad for me. The only thing I could really do is play Red 3, and if he attacks my base, which, okay, so here's a good example of sequencing. So if I just play Red 3, he can just either like attack it with spacer to deal damage to it, or have other options. Even if he has shoot first, he can shoot first on spacer to kill Red 3. So by using Sabine first, that makes him either pass or attack with spacer. So you want to make your opponent misplay. So I'm not saying that him attacking with spacer is a misplay, but I think he probably could have safely passed there, because he knows I'm not going to pass with 3 resources up. So he does attack me, and that lets me play red 3 with no fear of, shoot first, and I'm able to shield it. So the only thing I'm really worried about is waylay, but I don't mind him using his turn 4 to just waylay my 3-drop. So the extra red 3 can go now because it's not really a big deal. So while not having a big burst turn per se, we can play K2 and Sabine here, or even maybe have the option of Sabine plus lightsaber. But I think playing K2 and just developing our board is probably the better play here. So he can technically kill my red 3 if he wants, but he would lose quite a bit of space presence to do so, and a lot of damage. So he's letting it go for now. So I really have a couple options here. I could use Sabine's ability, I could play K2, or I can just deploy Sabine. So we trade attacks in space, and now I think what I want to do for resources in Boba Fett's not that scary because he can't super laser tech due to his ECL being used. So we can safely ping here and then try to make him commit to see what he does. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Okay, so him playing that Boba Fett now, I have a couple options, right? So I think the next best play here would be to just deploy Sabine. And just keep my resources up. Okay, there. So he claimed, so now I kind of have free reign to do whatever I want. So I can either kill his Boba Fett, but I feel like I can win this race due to for cause. The only thing that I'm really worried about would be like fire spray. It might really speed up his clock, but this K2 is going to attack for 5, and if I draw a heroic sacrifice, that's like what, 10 damage. So this is what I was saying about lightsaber. Like, it's good, but it's also kind of awkward because you never really have a spot you can play it. Like lightsaber plus A-wing here wouldn't be bad, but I think you don't need 3 lightsabers. I think you're more or less fine with 2. So he has first action here. I think he's just doing math to see. So he can deal, what's that, 3, 6, 8. But if it's for 4 more is 12, so that's 22. If he has a surprise strike, he could actually kill me. But he's opting to Bosk K2, I think. Yeah. It's going to deal 3 to him. So looking at the math, Sabine can now do 4 to put him to 17. Red 3 puts him to 20. Yeah, so I think I'm, and then for cause can do 4 for 24. So I'm 1 damage short if I want to just straight race him. So that plan is not going to work. We have to just try to kill him next turn, but I don't know if I'm going to get a next turn here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 is 12. Yes, it's going to be close. See what he does. If he brings out Boba Fett first, attacks, untaps 2, then he could surprise strike something. Yeah, I don't know. So he's still thinking. I don't know what's in his hand at this point. If it's just shoot first, I don't care that much. Right, 4, 7, 10, 12, 13 with shoot first. Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay, so bringing out Boba Fett, this leads me to believe that he does have a surprise strike. Well, guess not. So we could just take the initiative and go first, but I don't want to randomly get waylaid here. So you play the other unit just to be safe. Now there's no way, so I just show him the 4 cause just to speed things up. But there was no way for him with one action to be able to clear my whole board. Especially with the shield on red 3. So that's going to take the game there. So really what won that game was shielding red 3. That just presented so much extra damage that it just allowed me to have just enough to win the game. So this is another pretty solid hand. I have Sabine, which is really good turn 1 with a shield. And with him going first, that means he can't just ECL it right away. And, them playing Waylay on turn 2, it's not really that bad for you, because usually you can just replay whatever or play a 3-drop and be ahead in tempo. That's why it's not so bad to, blow the shield early. So I show my hand. So the 2 options here are either go to space with the restored arc, or play Sabine and shield it. I think those are the only 2 real options. So that's what I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, because I really want to play Fighters for Freedom turn 2. I just don't know if I really want to compete on the ground and give him a chance to super laser tech with ECL. Okay, so he claims, and I have free reign here. Okay, so we go with Sabine, and we're just going to shield her. Again, I don't care if he waylays. The card that I care about more than anything is super laser tech. So I resource Fighters for Freedom there. I actually wish I would have resourced the 2-drop Rebels, because multiple fighters is pretty good. So he plays Boba Fett, which means now I probably have to go to space. Yeah, because he's killing Sabine, so he's ECLing Boba Fett. The on attack pops her shield, and then of course he does 3. So we could play the fighters, which is fine, but I don't think I can win any races with just the fighters. So I think we probably have to go to space here. But I think I'm behind here by quite a bit. So we do play the fighters here, which after drawing K2, I think that was the right play. It would have been awkward to play the restored arc and then draw K2 and no way to really protect him. Yeah, there's spacers. That's unfortunate. 3, 6, 8. He's representing 6 damage this turn, puts us to 11. So we're just going to go with K2. Picking up for 1. I'm going to ping as well. He has a few options. He can attack me for 3 or take out the fighters. Okay, so he's just racing. Sabine comes out, he takes initiative, and we hit him for 3. So now I'm at 12, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, till I'm at 12. He's threatening 12 damage this turn with Boba Fett. And I'm only threatening, what's that, 3, 6, 10? So I'm 5 short, he's 1 short. So I don't know if we can get there. Let's see. We would have to get really lucky. He would have to go face, we would have to go face, and we would have to throw 4 cause at him for 5 damage, 1 from fighters plus 4 rebel cards. But that right there is going to all but end the game. That's 5. He could kill Sabine, which is probably the right play. Yeah. So now it's what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 damage he has in play right now with his leader. Puts me to 26. So don't think there's anything I can do. I have to hope that he just misplays or miscounts. Even if I kill his probe droid here, that's still 7, 9, and 4 is 13. That's still 25. Alright, let's see. 5, 6, 7, plus 4 is 11. Now it's 23. But then that puts me 1 attack from death. So yeah, there's nothing I can do. Boba Fett's got 5 health left. Really wish I had like a heroic sacrifice here. Obviously, that would deal 6, 4 damage to his face. So we take out his Boba Fett with the new card, which is very good, but this is still going to put me, I think, 1 action short of killing him unless I draw. Let's see. I have to take initiative here. I took 2 for 4. Yeah. And I think the cell block guard, even without cell block guard, 6. I don't think there's any way I could do 11 with 1 attack. I would have to take out Boba Fett with K2, and I cannot. I need like a fleet lieutenant or another force. What else would be good here? Heroic sacrifice. Well, no, because he has the cell block guard, so there's really no way for me to kill Boba Fett here. So we'll just skip ahead because that game, I think for like 30 seconds and then realize I can't kill Boba Fett. So this game, this is game 3. I probably should have mulliganed this hand. I'm not really sure why I kept. This is not really a hand that you want with this deck. Or maybe I actually did mulligan and this is it. I'm not sure, but never keep a hand like this because it's not good. Greedo. We're just going to... so the options here are either I could use Sabine or I can just take the initiative. I would rather him not have the initiative, but it's not that big of a deal. And then I'm thinking about shielding here because I don't want him to just kill Benthic for free with like a Death Star super laser tech. But I think that's actually exactly what's going to happen. So my plays here are either Red 3 Yoda or Fleet Lieutenant. So I probably should resource the Fleet Lieutenant because that's the 3-drop in my hand that's going to have the lowest impact, especially if he kills my Benthic. So, and if he does kill Benthic, I think we have to go to space with Red 3. But I do resource Yoda, which I don't think is correct. Like, playing Yoda here would be a lot better than Red 3. So I also don't need to worry about shielding it because he doesn't have ECL anymore. So there's Fleet Lieutenant going down. Like if I play Yoda, I could at least kill Greedo, restore 2, and make him deal with Yoda, which probably just get bossed, but that's still fine. Like that's gonna do more than this Red 3. Okay, there's Spacer. And then, so now we can either play 2-2-drops or a K2. So Boba's coming out this turn, so realizing that, I don't think K2 is really the play. So I decided to go to space and see what what would happen. So he can put me at 8, and then 4 more is 12. I could put him to 5, basically. So I'm down by 7 in damage. And then there's a waylay, which is not what we wanted to see. Now I'm way behind in damage. So we just have to take the initiative here. So 5 resources, like it's probably like Fleet Lieutenant and A-Wing, Red 3 maybe, but 4, 7, 9. He has 9 damage in play, so 21. He's 4 short, so I'm probably not going to lose this turn. But I don't think I can deal 20 damage to him in 2 turns, right? I mean, this is 4, and I heal 1. And then I got 6 more with Sabine and A-Wing. Okay, that's not great for us. What's that for 7? Yeah, like I realized that now that's a 6, 9, 11, puts me at 22, and then I can't kill both those units. So we just go to game 4 here. So we do play for several hours a day. in Discord. We used to just use our own Discord, but I guess we can start playing in the main one. So I think we ended up running like probably 8, 9 of these games, 10 maybe. But I'll just show the first 4 or 5. This is game 4. This hand is another hand that's like kind of questionable. I think I'm figuring out, trying to think if I can do better than this, and I think I can. Like, just playing Benthic into like Fleet Lieutenant isn't exactly what you want to be doing with this deck. So now it's like, I don't know, A-Wing and a red 3 is probably better. Yeah, so we just play A-Wing here. So if he goes to space, we might consider shielding the A-Wing. If he goes to the ground, we definitely don't shield, and then we play red 3 on the following turn. Okay, so we can either shield or save it for red 3. We just have to be wary of shoot first on the A-Wing. So knowing that, we just claim right away, so this A-Wing can guarantee 3 damage. And now we can see what he wants to do. Okay, so he wants to go ground. So he probably should have attacked with Spacer first, because then that makes me either use Sabine or guess where I should go. But knowing that he went to the ground like that, I can just play red 3 here and not really care about his Boba Fett. So he claims, and we now have to decide if we want to shield or not. I don't want to get blown out by the defender. Waylay's not that bad at the moment. Games where he doesn't ramp, Waylay's really not that scary. So now we can either play 2 2-drops. We can play Sabine plus lightsaber. They're not lightsaber, but Sabine deploy plus Yoda. We can play K2. Resourcing the 2-drop there just means that I'm playing K2 here. So shout out to Inception of Garbage Rollers there. He just asked me if the damage was right, but I played red 3 after I attacked with the A-Wing, which is awkward sequencing sometimes, but I think I had to, just to tell which arena I needed to go. So there's Spacer. He's just going to exhaust probably the red 3. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it's, well, no, probably the A-Wing because it's more damage. The A-Wing does 4 and red 3 does 3. Yeah. So I'm actually quite okay with that, because he's not really representing much damage, and I'm ahead in the damage race. So this is going to deal 3 to him. I can Sabine put 8 to 2. So that'll put us 8 to 4. Boba Fett's going to deal 3. Alright, so he decides to just make it 6. Which is totally fine with me, because now he's totally tapped out, and we kind of have free reign to do whatever we want here. So this is going to deal 4. And then playing K2 because I'm not too worried about losing any races. If the race was tighter, I think playing Yoda there might have been good. Um, but there's really no race. Like I'm way ahead in damage here, or at least for damage that I'm representing. Like he has what 7 on board, 4 with Boba Fett. That's 11. So he needs multiple pumps to uh, actually kill me. Like I don't think he can get 15 damage this turn. 4, 7, 9, 11, 3 more. Yeah, no, this doesn't matter. Like he can play that all day. So he pings the shield, and then does 3, and then 1 more. There he does the last one to Sabine. And ready's 1, which doesn't matter. So now 12, I can deal, let's see, 3 to base with Sabine, puts him to 15, K2 puts him to 19, and then red 3, oh wait, no, that's for 4 because of red 3, so yeah, so this is going to be game. So K2 is going to attack for 5 to put him to 21. And then this red 3 with the forces with me is going to deal the last 5. Yeah, so he's just looking at that just to make sure that it can hit space units. Red 3 is 1 with force, so that's going to be 2 to 2. I think there's probably a few more games, but we'll just show one more game. This is going to be the tiebreaker, game 5. So you get an extra bonus game today. I think he actually has to restart his TTS due to some errors. There we go. Okay. So this hand would be really good. It has all the cards I want, but it's got 3 copies of red 3. So that's something that we can't keep. And this hand is much better. So it's a ton of space units. This is a really good mix because it has so many space units. I can kind of go space and then play Kanan in the ground arena, which should net me quite a bit of life because there's nothing he has that could like one-shot Kanan unless he does like, I don't know, 3-drop Boba Fett plus something. But he decides to ambush. So now with his ambush, I can kind of just take control of the ground arena here by playing Yoda into Kanan. So this is an angle that Sabine didn't have before. You can kind of just have like a sustained burst. So now you just have these units that have really big butts and are shielded. So like Yoda now is a 2/4 with a shield that restores 2. So this is a pretty good spot to be in, especially because he used his ECL already. So he does have 6 damage on board. So that's going to put me to 11. Fortunately, he didn't ramp, so his turn 3 on 4 resources isn't really that scary. So I have a couple options here. I can kill Greedo, uh, and restore 2, or I can just go base. I feel like I probably should have killed Greedo there, but I got a little greedy and thought that I can outrace by gaining a ton of life with Kanan. Yeah, by killing Greedo, it would have cut his damage potential in half, uh, which is pretty huge. So I don't care about Super Laser Tech now. It's not really that big of a deal. Him ramping next turn to 6 resources doesn't matter that much. I'm just going to play Kanan. So, in theory, he should have -1 Greedo and have 6 damage on his base. But I do think now, I do like to call out my misplays. I feel like I played pretty well for the most part, but misplays like that can cost you games, and I think that not taking out his Greedo might not be an obvious misplay, but it's something I think that may have cost me this game in the long run. I don't actually recall if I win this game or not, but I think killing his Greedo would have put me in a lot better spot. So he has first action here. Kanan's gonna actually heal 2 cards here because of Sabine also being a Spectre. So I can deal 4, heal 2, 3 damage. Let's see. I have quite a bit of reach in my hand. So he just does that, no big deal. Attack his base for 4 and heal for 2. And then I'm going to get reminded here in a second that I get a second card. So he plays Traitorous. So I don't really like Traitorous, as that's no surprise, but randomly sometimes it is a big blowout. And him stealing my Yoda there is a really big deal because now I lose my restore and he gains restore. And there's really no way for me to uh, like kill it very easily. So if it didn't have a shield, I could kill it pretty easily. But it does have a shield because I didn't kill his Greedo on that one turn, and this sets me back quite a bit. I think if he just plays like a Bosk or something like that, then the game's pretty well in hand for me. But the fact that he gains restore, now he's going to be able to heal like 4 damage. So he's at like an effective 10 damage for sure. Uh, Probably add an effective 8 damage. So I have to deal 17 damage in 2 turns with basically nothing in play. And he's bringing out Boba Fett this turn. So I'm just doing math. I think I have to play fighters here. and then I could play Heroic Sacrifice on Sabine, draw a card, deal 5 to base, and put him to 17. But then all of the math I'm doing is actually completely forgetting that he's going to be restoring 4. So all of it's kind of for nothing. But I don't think this game is really that close if I just kill Greedo on turn 3. He's taking out Kanan, healing 2. So realizing that Sabine is probably just going to die to Greedo anyway, I decide to Heroic Sacrifice, deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1 from the fighters. He should be at 16, which I think I get him here in a second. Yeah. Yeah, if I could have drawn another cause, I could deal 4, 5, 10. Nah, still not enough. So now he's representing 4, 6, 9, 12. So I'm dead unless I can deal 9 to him, which I only have, what, 4 plus 1 at most. And that just goes back to, again, like, I hate to keep harping on it, but it just goes back to that misplay. You got to call it out. So I think I lost this game on turn 3. So Wild Traders did seal it for him. I think I kind of lost that one on my own. I don't think the Traders would have been nearly as devastating if I played it properly. So actually hit 2 Benthicks off of this, so there's no way I was ever getting to 25 anyway. Yeah, and he just heals two more with Yoda, and that's gonna be game. Yeah. So there you go. So Boba Fett takes it 3-2. We do play another, I think, 3-4 games. In the end, it was about 50-50. The matchup comes down to playing really tight and just making the right plays. So going back to the deck, the only things that I would change would be cut down on lightsabers, maybe even cut it completely, which I know kind of defeats the purpose of even playing blue. But this base is just so good for this deck, and plus the Forces with Me has been very good. Kanan's really good. Those are the cards that I really want. It's like Force, Kanan, Restored Arc. So I'm really hoping to see some more blue cards that kind of slot into this style deck. Right now it's just missing like 1 or 2 cards to really round it out. So I think that's it for now though. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.